Hey everyone, it's Andre here again. Firstly, once again, thank you for all the support that you've given me with the Hill groups. Last week's session was a great session. It was really, really good. It was amazing to see the people there, and it was also, it was a great relief for me to see the success of it because it really does mean a lot to me, and I appreciate your support. And I hope to see people there in a couple of days, this coming Wednesday. Look, the reason for this video is I'm trying to keep it brief, but I can't make any promises. There's been a lot of discussion about, talking about your anxiety, talking about your depression. Of course there is, and I do that myself. I tell people to talk. But the thing is, we need to understand, why do we talk? I mean, it's not just talk because your family is a good support network and your friends are good support networks, and you need to talk because you need to, have people around you that help you through it. Of course, yes, it does help to have that, and that's 100% one of the reasons why you should talk. But fundamentally, why do we talk? What is it exactly about talking that helps minimize our anxiety and our depression? Now, I think it's really important to know that. I think it's really important to understand what is actually happening in our minds when we are talking. Because I think if you know the benefits of talking, you'd be more willing and more open to the suggestion of doing that. If you don't know why, and people just say talk without actually telling you why it's good to talk, then it can still be very hard for someone who has anxiety to come out and discuss that. So by giving them, I suppose, what the results are and what the facts are behind why you should talk, I think it might encourage them more. So anyway, look, the society we live in today is amazing, but at the same time, it's crazy. Everything that we want is it's in our hands. Everything for our life is built around convenience, and our minds, it's not built for that. Our minds is not built for 2019, next year, 2020. I mean, it's crazy. Our mind, without the downloading of videos, without the apps, without the gaming, without having our phones attached to our hips, without staring at our phones all the time, our minds are already processing, between 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, 3,000 thoughts an hour. And that's just colors, movement, there's just things, thoughts from the past that are useless to us now, and then on top of that, we add the additional stresses of daily life, mobile phones in our face, TV, and I do it too. Yeah, I get it. I look at my phone and I watch TV and I download, and, I do all this stuff too. But I'm conscious of my mind and my health, and I'm conscious of disregarding and getting rid of thoughts in my head that have no benefit to me and just negative to me. And I've got myself in a good headspace to be able to do all that. I mean, there's no such thing as downtime anymore. You used to have downtime, you used to sit there, chill out, look at the sky, take a deep breath. But downtime now is download time. No one ever stands there and at a set of lights or goes for a walk or, just breathes in the fresh air and allows their mind to sort of digest the thoughts of the day or the week or the month. Now any opportunity to grab a phone and put more information into your brain, put more information into your mind to clutter it even more, people are doing it. We're a victim. To be honest, I think we're a big victim of the society and the community which we've, developed. It just baffles me. It's crazy. You go online, you try and look up why should we talk. There's not really much out there telling you why. Yes, it's good for you and it's good to have a support base, but exactly why do we talk? What happens when we talk? And I think it's very important to know that, because when you talk, you allow yourself to process and revisit those thoughts that are constantly in the back of your head, whether the forefront or the back of your mind, and it gives you the opportunity to deal with those thoughts and to get rid of them, and to allow your mind free space to process other things going on in your life. Our minds are fatigued, they're overwhelmed. They can't keep up with the community which we've created. They can't keep up with the thousands and thousands of data downloads on average, a week, a year. It's just crazy. And I really think it's important to know that if you have anxiety and depression, you're not crazy. if you have anxiety and depression, it's not something that's negative. We really need to get that out of our heads. I know we always read doom and gloom and dark clouds and, oh, do you suffer from anxiety? Do you feel bad? Of course you're going to feel bad because you have anxiety and your heart rate's through the roof and your chest is tight and that's not a nice feeling to have. But, it's not a bad thing to talk. If I'm lying in bed and I have a anxiety attack and my heart rate goes through the roof, is lying in bed, is that something to be ashamed of? No. If I'm watching TV and I have an anxiety attack, is that something to be ashamed of? No. The situations that cause me to have an anxiety attack are nothing to be ashamed of. Look, I'm not trying to downplay anxiety and depression. It is a serious thing. But regardless of what you read and what you hear, all the exercises, all the little activities that they give you to help you with your anxiety and depression, all come back to one thing, and that's the clearing of the mind, the relaxation of the mind. And we really need to, take a hard look at the way we live and the way we try to cram as much stuff into our minds as we can. This life of convenience might be great because you can get your shopping the same day, you can get your clothes the same day, you can get everything the same day or the next day. But having everything in your face, on your phone, on your screen, constantly, 24/7, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, only adds to the 50, 60, 70,000 thoughts already going through your head. It might sound simplistic, but I'm telling you, it's something that really needs to be looked at. It's something that when you think about it, it makes sense. Anxiety to me is fatigue of the mind. Anxiety to me is the mind's inability to be able to continually process and catch up the thoughts that you're dumping in there. Regardless of how bad the incident, regardless of whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, regardless of what it is, you have to pay that particular incident the respect it deserves and process what's occurred and process that thought, deal with it, and try your best to move on from it. If not move on, at least deal with it. At least categorize it, put it into a section of your mind where you can comfortably say and feel that it's been dealt with. And look, it's not the solution. It's not 100% the cure to anxiety. I mean, for me, it almost was. For me, helping my anxiety was basically a massive data dump. 3-4 years of just dumping information out of my mind, revisiting things from years ago and just giving them the satisfaction, giving them the respect of being addressed and dealt with rather than sweeping it under the carpet, because my mind, it wasn't up to 2019 standard because it was just so overwhelmed with thoughts, good thoughts, bad thoughts, anything. So the reason why we talk is because we need to address the thoughts in our mind. We need to address the incidences, whatever occurred, whether negative or positive, and give them and as hard as it might be, you need to give those particular events the respect of being dealt with in the mind and, sent off, taken out of your head so you can deal with the next 59,000 things that is going to come through your head. I just really hope people understand what I'm trying to say in this video, and it's no wonder that kids these days, I mean, I don't have kids, but it's no wonder that kids as well are so overwhelmed and having anxiety at a younger age because they were born into it. They were born into phones in their hands. Their poor minds never had a chance to digest and understand what's going on around them because it's being flooded, and if you look at mobile phones, they started in, mobile phones, internet, that whole sort of rage and era started around 1990, mid-90s onwards, and it's no wonder now 25, 30, 35-year-olds are one of the biggest age groups suffering from anxiety because they were born into that time and developed it. And, now their minds are just completely flooded with so much information. Anyway, look, I can go all day, I can talk all day, and I hope I didn't really confuse anyone. But all I'm saying to you is give your minds the ability to digest, relax, and deal with thoughts that are in your head. Doesn't matter how old they are, revisit them, get rid of them, and do your best to at least address them. Sweeping stuff under the carpet, so to speak, is doing nothing except adding to the 60, 70,000 that's already in there. You know, I just want everyone to be able to take a deep breath when an opportunity comes. Digest stuff in their mind when the opportunity comes. You know, when you're walking through the streets, when you're walking your dog, and I do it every now and then, I have to admit, but, you know, if you're walking your dog, don't look at your phone. Look up at the sky. Take a deep breath. You know, really slow yourself down, because society in the world we live in is not going to slow down for you. And if you don't slow yourself down to a pace that you can manage, then it's just only going to get worse, and you're just going to, you know, you just won't be able to cope. So, you know, the reason for me with these hill groups is to give the people those opportunities to revisit these thoughts in their heads, to revisit their, you know, what might be in their minds, discuss it, talk about it, and free them up step by step, day by day. Allow them to free themselves up to get to a point where they can deal with, you know, 2020 coming up. Anyway, I hope this video helped. Sorry again for talking so long. I really am passionate about what I do. I really do want to try and help people. And, you know, I'm happy to hear your comments. I'm happy to hear any suggestions. If you want to post some stuff or post comments, I'm happy to hear it and take it on. You know, once again, it's all for you. It's not for me. I'm not, you know, I really want to help people. I really, with all my heart, hope that I can start putting, you know, a big smile on the community around us and help people just to relax and try their best to get through it. You know, we're here for you, and, you know, I just really hope that you try and take on board what I say. And, you know, if you don't want to listen to me, you don't take on board what I say, then please find help elsewhere and take their advice on board. But, you know, we just need to slow down and take a deep breath, and that's just the first start. Now, that's just the first step. You know, I'm not saying that's the miracle cure. It's the first step we need to start taking to get onto the road to recovery and healing. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.